I have one blank page in my journal that I want to use a page from the Smash Flower kit to make a page with a little more interest or design versus coloring. I picked this page with the flowers in a bunch. I went and picked a few flowers from my pots in the garden that might work good for smashing onto the page. The Sanvatilla didn't give me much of a yellow color as I was wanting. Marigolds would have worked much better, but I did not have any in bloom at this time. I love to make ink with marigolds, and that may be a video for the future. I use a clear sheet of overhead transparency, only so you can see the color being pounded out of the petals and leaves. I also use a rubber mallet to smash the flowers. Place the petals and leaves randomly on the page, putting colors where you might like to see that color on your page. You may be surprised on what color you get from a pink petal, but that is the fun of flower smashing. Don't use the whole flower in one area, as there is a lot of juice and color that comes off a single petal or leaf, so go sparingly on adding the petals to your page. You could just fold this page in half and smash the flowers through both pages, and both pages would receive the color from the petals and leaves. But for this demo, I'm using the clear page so you can see what is going on. You could also get your flowers all on it and then run it through your die cutting machine or your Big Shot and get a lot of color smashed on both pages. I'm just doing one page for this demonstration. Zooming in shows how smashing flowers on your work table with the camera attached might not be of such a great idea. Everything is shaking. Make sure you can see the color coming off the petals and get into all the areas with the mallet to get the color from the petals and leaves. You may find you need to add a little more color in some places that might not have gotten as much color as you wanted. So add a few more petals to the large flower and smashed a little more color. Gently wipe off the excess squished flowers from the page. I used a large soft bristle paintbrush to gently wipe off any excess. The pink geranium had such a beautiful purple color when its juices came out. Now I fussy cut out the bouquet of flowers just in a rough shape around the bouquet, in and out and around the stems. Most of the stems will be covered up when finished with a bow and another little flower with a quote. I find the page in my journal where I want to add this piece. I like using book pages from textbooks that have equations and physics diagrams for my background. I rip this down using my tear ruler and make it a little smaller than the page I will be gluing it onto. Then I add a little distress ink around the edges of my bouquet and the textbook page. Check for size and see if you need to cut off any more of the fussy cut bouquet. Glue down the textbook page onto the blank page in your journal. I'm trying for the first time Barely Art Precision Craft Glue. I really like the cap for the fine tip. I've been using art glitter glue, but I have had a heck of a time getting the fine tip to work. I either cut off too much of the top and the fine tip won't fit, or something seems to go wrong. I've even bought extra caps to see what I'm doing wrong and try again to only cut another one wrong. With all of that said, I don't have to do any of the cutting with the Barely Art Precision Glue, which is a win-win in my book. Wipe off any excess glue with a baby wipe, and adding glue to any areas that didn't get stuck down. I cut another little flower from the Smash Flower Small Digital Kit. I used my tear ruler to cut out the little flower to give a deckled edge around the little flower. And of course, distress those edges. I have a bag of cheesecloth that I have colored different colors of pieces of cheesecloth. So I find a piece that would look good under this flower. I thought a light purple would be good with the whole piece. I pulled this and cut a piece that would be a little bigger than the little flower. I pick a ribbon to make a bow for the base of the bouquet. This one didn't work as well as I wanted, so I went with a different ribbon. My bow was a little wonky, but it still looks good for a focal point on the page. I just kept manipulating it until it was the right size for my page and cut off any excess ends. I have a page of quotes that I have printed out, and I picked one and cut it to fit a background piece of black to attach the quote to. Glue these pieces down to the bottom left side of the page. I added the quote right under the bow, kind of off-centering it so the bow's hanging off one side just a little bit. I went around the flowers and pieces I wanted to stand out with a charcoal pencil and smudged the edges. I went and added a little of the charcoal pencil around the textbook pages to add depth. Some of the smashed flowers, like the geranium, covered up the flower petals, and I want them to be up front and stand out more, so adding the charcoal pencil really helped. This also just gives it an aged look. And I put a little bit of the charcoal pencil under the quote too to help it stand out, and around the little flower. Just gives it more of a little frame.